Hello, my name is Master Wilson, and this is my Padawan.
Brad Erie.
And we are the Do or Not podcast. So today is May the 4th, and so we kind of dressed up, at least I did. Brad is questionable whether he dressed up or not. And we are going to be talking Star Wars today, like we do a lot of times. We talk about a lot of stuff, but we've been off for a while because we're in a new place. Still a work in progress, but it looks pretty good.
Getting there.
So I moved to a new gym a little bit over a month ago. Brad went on a vacation that was ridiculously long and longer than he had planned, I think. And so we've been out for a little while. So now we're back, and we've been planning on doing this episode for the last 6 months. We didn't exactly know everything we were going to do, but we got some good content to go over for Star Wars, because we really didn't talk that much Star Wars.
The third greatest holiday.
It's pretty good. I'm a big May the 4th. It's great to have all the content. The Acolyte second trailer came out today.
Yep, I finished the book.
I still think it's going to be. I'm on book 21.
Okay, still.
But there's 19 books in the New Jedi Order. I'm done with those, and now I've done the Dark Nest and Dark Nest 2.
Humble brag.
Yeah, so I'm almost done with the Dark Nest 2. So we're going to talk Acolyte. We're going to talk. Last Wednesday was the finale of The Bad Batch.
I haven't seen it, but I want you to spoil it.
We're going to talk about the New Jedi Order books a little bit. Like, Brad's going to have to, since he just got done reading 3, it's been a long time since I read 3.
Yep.
My goal this year is to catch up on it and read almost every Star Wars book this year. I'm at 21 books right now. So
impressive.
But a lot of that was rehashing because I had read most of the New Jedi Order, but it had been so long ago. And this is one thing I want to recommend to anybody is if you read those books in the past and you thought you remembered them and you know what happens in those books, you should go back and read them, because I forgot a lot. And then I don't think I went far enough with the books, to remember. Like, some of the stuff is all coming back new to me almost.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss the books, and then we're going to discuss one of the most important things about being a Force-wielding Jedi or a Sith, which Brad looks more Sithish, and that's awfully dark. And he,
as we said in our first thing, at least it's not
white-looking skin. But we're going to discuss lightsaber forms.
Oh, I know nothing about it.
He does not, and we've discussed it a little bit.
Yeah,
before.
the 7.
I actually wrote down my notes and details. I know the names of them, but I don't always remember the style. Like, is this style aggressive? Is this style defensive? What? So we're going to go over that as kind of like a fun Star Wars thing for since it's May the 4th be with you.
Yep.
Makes the Force be with you. And so the Force is something we want to talk about. And the Jedis, obviously, I don't know if I like sitting this close to you.
I know.
It's a little uncomfortable.
A little upsetting.
Yeah.
But I just might.
Especially because when you have shorts on and I have full Jedi gear on.
Well, some of us are going to work out after this.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. And so there's a lot of buzz about the Acolyte. Let's start off there. Let's go negative first.
Well, of course you would. But I'm in. I saw lightsabers. I'm in.
All right. So here's my feeling. I've said from the start, I think it's going to be a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Look at that. I didn't cuss.
I know. It's
amazing. It's because I have a grandkid now.
And you're in Jedi. Jedis don't cuss.
So I've been real negative about it. The second trailer,
I
liked a lot more than the first trailer. I do not like the person who directed this. I don't like what she says about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It looks okay. I'm gonna hold judgment. I try to be very open-minded because I'm a Jedi, and I try to be like open-minded with stuff. But I'm not very happy with who she is and how she's portrayed herself and what she said about George Lucas and what she said about Lucasfilms in the past, and trying to come off like she's read all the books and she's really into it, and then she gets asked questions and she bumbles them and she doesn't really know what she's talking about.
She's definitely a Sith.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I can enjoy somebody's work if it's good. Yeah. I'll judge it independently. I mean, I'm going in with a little bit of, I don't like this Lena Headley chick, but maybe she does a great job. Maybe she's good at her job. She just can't talk. and can't carry coherent thoughts, but maybe she's a really good artist at what she does. So I'll give her a chance, and it is Jedi. There's
I
Sith,
saw lightsabers. I'm in.
there's cool fight scenes. Carrie-Anne Moss is in it. I mean, it looked cool.
Yeah.
So, and it's in a time that is 100 years before
Episode 1.
Phantom Menace. That's what I was trying to think of.
Will Yoda be in it, you think?
Not this time, but from unless it was one of those surprise things.
Okay.
But the rumors are that if they make an Acolyte season 2, and that's a big if, this could take a real crapper. So if it's not good, people like me will not continue watching it. I'll be like, nope. And I saw that. I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and this is complete manure. If they try to like sabotage the George Lucas's vision and Filoni's vision and what's been going on, I'll be real upset. But
I'm in.
I got a little better feeling of it now. It looks like there's some good battles, like the hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah,
in it, kind of Matrix Kung Fu style.
They did add more Kung Fu. That was one of the things I saw. In the
and when you read the books, there's a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Jedi's get in these situations where there's multiple opponents coming from, and they can use the Force so much, but they go hand-to-hand. Luke Skywalker many times kicks and punches, uses blasters. And stuff. When he's faced with a bunch of people, he's just using blasters today. When I was reading it, against the
spoilers.
There's all kinds of, like it's not just what's in the movies. I mean, it really isn't. But I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet, but I'm hoping. I have my fingers crossed. I'm rooting for Lena Headey and the Acolyte to be a really good series. I'm just not super excited.
I saw lightsabers. I saw some Sith.
I might have to take this off. This is getting hot.
Yeah, you are. Anyways, I'm in.
Probably because I have to sit next to you, and you're like a big white, hot, just Irish person who radiates heat. Like
just radiating.
The lights are drawing into you and pushing out the force of light heat. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you like?
I'm in. I've tried to stay very vague with the details because I just want to be surprised. I did see, like we talked about, they are really leaning more into the Kung Fu aspects of this. They are interviewing the lady, and she's like, she didn't like some of the standard hitting each other with the lightsaber battles of the prequels. So they were trying to show different variations of fighting.
Maybe if she studied and knew the seven
forms, maybe she did. Maybe they'll say, look, we're breaking up the third form, and you'll wet yourself.
I think that she has like a little notebook given to her by Filoni, and she uses it as a cheat sheet because you never read the actual source material.
I'm in. I'm so in. And
I think it looks good visually. It doesn't look like a movie. It definitely looks like the Disney TV shows. So it doesn't have that movie-esque quality. There was in Ahsoka, it had movie-esque quality.
Yeah, there were certain scenes that
this looks more like, this is like Andor.
Yep.
The way they filmed it. I don't know if I'm not an expert at cameras and cinematography, but
I mean, obviously look at our setup.
Yeah, look at this. But
we're professionals.
But you're right. It does look good with the 3 pictures behind us. So
see there? Listen to your designer.
Yeah. So yeah, you're the real designer of it. That was the original plan, but then our heads are in the way. Their space is pretty small, So anyway, I'm excited about it. We'll see. I'm not sure.
I am.
But I am sure that the Bad Batch was really good.
I've heard great things about it. This summer, I'm watching it with.
You haven't watched the Bad Batch?
No, my daughter and I.
Why'd you bring it up for?
Because look, it's May the 4th. I'm not going to watch it for a while. I got a lot of shows with my daughter to get to. God. Did they all die?
All right, just be quiet and I'll discuss it. So I'll give you a brief. Oh, man, this is a lot. It's 3 seasons, I think.
Yeah, what did you think about the final season?
I thought the final season was very good. I probably would have killed most of them off.
Yeah.
Just because, hey, you know what?
This is the last season.
This is a time where the Empire's in charge. The Empire wins most of the time. The Rebels have tiny, small, little victories, and you can call Mount Tantus a small victory. Although this Mount Tantus does not just really like what's happening inside there is not really what it happens in the books and the Empire books, and thousands of clones in it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a little variation and difference.
Lame.
But I like the characters. I've been a big fan of the show. I think it's a really well done. It's a tier below. Like Rebels is my favorite animated. I know some people love Clone Wars. Rebels is my favorite animated, and it's a different animation. It's more Clone Wars type animation, but better. Clone Wars was real like cartoonish, and this is a little more realistic. The characters are great. Now Omega at the end of it is flying off to, she survives. So when you watch it, tough shit. You're gonna learn because you brought up Bad Batch.
Yeah,
I took some stuff out that I was going to talk about because we
go
want to
ahead.
talk about Bad Batch.
You got to be topical. Today is May the 4th.
Well, and May the 4th be with you. And like and subscribe if you like the content.
Talking to you, Mom.
I really like the whole crew. I think that definitely they've killed a few people off during it. I just thought when they're in this final battle, it could have been more poignant if Wrecker and everybody gets out but one of them, or all three of them die there and she makes it out and then eventually goes on to join the rebellion, and stuff. But I really liked it. I thought it was very good. I like how they wrapped it up, and I thought they did a good job. I may have killed off a few more characters. This is war, and the Empire's winning. And this is right before the rebellion really starts going, but the rebellion takes a long time to get going. So the Empire's winning these battles. So, but you'd also see, I like the one cool part I did like is at the end, Governor Tarkin was at Mount Tantus after everybody got killed. He got there right after they got away. And he was talking about, we're done with this.
Tarkin's in it.
We're gonna move. We're gonna move all funding to Project Stardust. You know what Project Stardust is?
Death Star.
You are correct. So there was some cool stuff in there. That's why I like watching these prequel stuff like Andor. I'm hoping the Acolyte. These are things that are really cool to watch, and you get a lot out of them. Cartoons are a little harder for me. Like I would say Rebels is the only one I was like, I got to see it.
Yeah.
Now I've watched it, just finished this week, and I've watched all the episodes, but I don't watch them. I don't turn it on Wednesday night. Yeah. Like Ahsoka was like, boom, it's on. Like the Acolyte. The first night it comes out, I'll watch it.
Heck yeah.
I'll probably have a double episode. I'll watch it, and I'll probably know after that first night if it's pretty good or pretty bad. Like I guaranteed it was shit, but now I'm like starting to go.
If it isn't, you're gonna have to eat
It looks. I may have to like go. That's probably not gonna happen. No. I'm still pretty gonna stick for it. I think it may be watchable. And have some good moments in it.
Please be watchable.
I think it's gonna be great. By no means do I think it's gonna be great, but I think it might be watchable. I like that they're doing different timelines too. I think I would like them to focus on the situation they're in right now. You have Ahsoka, you have the Mandalorian, you have Luke Skywalker and the
Thrawn.
I think doing different ages and settings like this.
Yeah.
I would like to see them focus more on that Thrawn. They should put all their energy into the Thrawn movie trilogy with them. Yes. Ahsoka season 2, Mandalorian and Grogu movie, another season of the Mandalorian. Keep building and have all these things merging together.
Yeah,
like Mandalorian has a bunch of Ahsoka in it, and Luke Skywalker's and everything, and they bring Mara Jade into it, and other and maybe the babies start showing up where Han and Leia have babies, and then some of these other like Kyle Katarn and
Baby Annie,
and Corran Horn become character. Just like people that are in the Legends books that are now gonna. A lot of Legends are becoming canon now, but it has to be put out. And hopefully, with Kathleen Kennedy not making decisions anymore, although I still haven't seen any announcements that she's out yet, and it is May. And I've heard that May was the time that she was going to be out. Kathleen Kennedy should go far, far away into a deep pit.
Out, Kennedy.
I hate Kathleen Kennedy. I'm turning the dark side.
Yeah, I know. It's
my hate and anger. So I would really like to see them focus in on certain time period, and then maybe like you got the Acolyte going, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if it turns out to be halfway decent and you have decent viewership, you give it a season 2 and you stay in that kind of High Republic end of the High Republic kind of era, I think is what it would be, 100 years before Phantom Menace. So it's not High Republic. I think it would be like towards the end of what would be considered the High Republic. If you go by just timeline, how many years the High Republic is. But I've said for years, and if they want a real moneymaker, you got the Skywalkers are the moneymaker.
Totally.
But the old Knights of the Old Republic, that video game, the characters, the books, Darth Bane, Darth Revan, Malgus, all these characters.
Revan would make a killing.
These are characters that you could make a whole, like you have the start. I'm just saying, don't spread yourself out between. I know Kathleen Kennedy has always been a pusher because the High Republic's her thing. You know, it all came out underneath her, and she wants them to make shows and movies. Great. I'm sorry, but it's not nearly as good as the Old Republic. And so I think they should have the current stuff going on with Skywalker, building it up, Thrawn, Ahsoka, Mandalore, the Mandalorian. All of those are great, and you put a lot of effort into it, and then you start developing that Old Republic. That's what I would do myself. But I like these offshoots because it's giving you, like, when you do the Bad Batch, you get a bunch more canon. Now you know what happened here. You know what happened there. Oh, this happened in the Bad Batch. Do you remember when that happened in the Bad Batch? So then you start piecing all these things together, and it does become very Avengers-like, where each movie has bits and pieces, certain characters cross over.
Avengers-like.
So I want them to do that, but I also think that they don't want to spread themselves too thin. They're doing the Dawn of the Jedi. Then they have the crappy Rey one that they're going to do. That I'm not very excited about. The real new Jedi Order is Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order, not the one that Kathleen Kennedy did in the trilogy crapola,
which is under strain in Book 3.
It's under strain all the time because Jedi are not uniformly thinking people.
Yes,
they're different. They're all Jedi, and they're supposed to be able to use the Force and use once they become Jedi Knights and Jedi Masters. Yes, they work together, but they're not supposed to just be ordered to do stuff. They're supposed to be more like what Qui-Gon Jinn wanted. But back then, when Luke if you're reading Luke, he lets them make their own way. He doesn't try to control and manipulate. I mean, he tries to guide them on the path that he thinks is best. And I just, my whole thing, let's not get into the book yet. Let's get into this. You start getting me sidetracked again. So I want them to focus on a couple things, not like spread it too thin. I like all these offshoots. The Acolyte's going to give us a bunch of like, Darth, whoever all the Acolytes are trying to become the apprentice to. Whether it's Darth Tenebris or Darth Plagueis, I think it has to be Tenebris, because I don't think from reading the Dark. So if you're the Darth Plagueis, who was, Plagueis, have you ever heard the story of Plagueis, Darth Plagueis the Wise? He is the master of Sidious, right? And he is still alive. Sidious kills him. Would be in the Phantom Menace, or was it? Yeah, whenever Anakin, is there, and he's already taken Darth Maul as an apprentice, he kills him. So he's alive a lot longer than you think he is. And I'm not sure about how long those live, but if you read the books about Darth Plagueis and Darth Sidious, there's books about it, and it discusses Darth Tenebris was the master of Darth Plagueis. I'm sure you don't know that.
I don't know.
But Darth Tenebris was killed by Plagueis, but really Plagueis was weaker physically and took advantage of it. If I remember right, he took advantage of like a cave-in or something to kill him. Yeah, I think that's what happened, if I remember right. It's been a long time since I read. Well, it's been 3 or 4 years since I read.
Do you like me agreeing like you were right?
Yeah, I do. And I'm looking over you, and I'm like, you don't know. You didn't read the damn book. So Darth Tenebris is who I'm guessing they're going to go with, because I think it fits into the timeline better than Plagueis. And then looking at him, Plagueis is a Bith. Long face, long features, long skin, and he was very cerebral, although he could get it done physically too. And he was very powerful in the Force, like all of the Force. Yeah, the rule of two. All those Sith were very powerful because all the dark side energy is welled up inside him. That's why Sidious was so strong. So I only, if Anakin wanted to came in, though, Mace Windu whooped the shit out of him. But that being said, he killed a couple other Jedi
Well,
Masters.
you know what? I think we should just let this camera roll and let you go off, because I think you could talk about this stuff for 7 hours straight.
I could, but let's not do that. So, but anyway, it's really I think the Acolyte is really interesting. The idea behind it, whether they execute on the idea is different. There can only be 2 Sith. So the whole thing is, if you have a bunch of acolytes who want to be, they're going to basically kill each other off pretty much and have to earn the respect of whoever the master is. But obviously, none of these acolytes become Sidious. Sidious is eventually, but maybe in. I think Plagueis actually had another 1 or 2. Like,
you're wrong.
I do think he did.
I don't know.
I think he actually tried other apprentices, but they didn't work out. At least one. I don't know if there was 2. There was one, and I'm foggy in the memory right there, but there was one. But Tenebrous had multiple like apprentices, and he was starting like to get older, and he was starting to worry. And then Plagueis wasn't aggressive with him, trying to kill him, because the whole way to become like what Darth Sidious was, when you have the rule of 2, the only way to become number 1 is to kill your master. And so they would just keep getting stronger and stronger and better. But if you couldn't kill your master killed you, then you have to get another apprentice.
I'm glad he rejected
Tenebrous was thinking about just killing Plagueis, because he was waiting. Plagueis was waiting too long to kill him. He wasn't going after him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I remember right, so I think that it fits up better in the Acolyte if it is Tenebrous. Because he could have 1 or 2 more acolytes, and he'd have to kill them and then find Plagueis.
I hate when I have to kill my acolytes. It's just such a.
I am your master, and you will not kill me, and I'm a Jedi, not a Sith.
All right, fine.
So the Acolyte looks good so far. I like the second trailer better than the first. I was very I don't know. It doesn't look very good when I watched the first one, but the second trailer, I to be honest, I was getting a little more excited about it. So with that being said, I still think it's not going to be that good. I hope I am wrong. Bad Batch was great. I like how there's so much more pieces being put together. And I know Filoni's got his fingertips and everything. I thought it was adequate. I would give it
out of 5 kettlebells,
3.
Ooh, that doesn't sound.
It just doesn't blow me away. The Bad Batch was enjoyable. I watched it all, but it wasn't something I got super excited. Like Rebels, I started watching Rebels.
Yeah.
And this was after it been out a while, because I'm not a big cartoon watcher anymore. And I started watching Rebels, and I was like, holy crap. I watched the first 3 seasons, and then it was right before season 4 came out. And I was just like, God, now I got to wait for season 4. That is how I felt about Rebels.
Yeah.
But,
did not feel that way.
Clone Wars, I never got I enjoyed watching them, but I never got I gotta watch. I would watch 5 or 6 in a row, but I never went where I'm gonna binge it the whole day. I'm so into this story, because I kind of know what happens in that story already, But I thought it was really good. It gives you a lot of good information. There's a lot of Ahsoka, there's Yoda, there's all these other characters in it that give you a lot of background. Today, what comes out?
I don't even know. What's the something Empire?
No, Tales of the Jedi, I believe.
Well,
I think that's what it's called. It's a new animated series.
I thought it was Tales of the Empire.
And it's like short, more of a short story type thing. I think they've already done something like this before. Yeah. So I'll jump on tonight and watch that. I mean, I watch Star Wars content. It's the only reason I have Disney Channel, because honestly, I mean, what else did they ever put out that's good?
What If?
No, I don't really like the what ifs. The what ifs don't really float my boat.
Andor.
Well, that's Star Wars. You got the Avengers stuff, so I like it, but it's not. The Avengers stuff hasn't blown me away since Endgame and Infinity Wars. I mean, I love those, and then after that, it's kind of stunk. Not stunk.
Stay on script. Star Wars. Great. May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you. What's the other thing we're going to talk about?
Book 3.
Oh, yeah. You started off because it's been a while since I read book 3, since I'm almost 21 books down.
I like how you 21 books down. So if you remember book 3.
You are my Padawan.
Yes, sir. That was the Battle of the Planet. Oh, see, you're going to kill me with these names. Ithor.
Ithor.
With the spores.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I remember.
So just to give you the brief kind of recap to spark your memory, because I know, we're both getting old. The New Republic.
This is the Yugazong Bong War.
Yes.
And the New Jedi Order, book 3.
They discovered that the spore can suffocate the warriors with their living armor. Mm-hmm. And so they
swell up.
Yep. The Jedi set fire to this forest that the Yuuzhan Vong was at near their base, trying to hide it. And the Yuuzhan Vong figured it out and said, we're going to go to the planet where these trees that make this spore originate, and we're going to take out this planet.
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about this spore anymore.
These Yugazong Vong are nice guys.
They are something.
They are sweethearts.
So that was the major arch of the 3 hours. Subplot was there was this one Jedi who had their friend or dear friend killed, and she was going to go out and find some of the Empire's major weapons and to, extract revenge on them all.
Not very Jedi-esque.
No. Luke and Anakin Skywalker went to find her to keep her from going to the dark side because she was looking for.
And when we say Anakin, not
the
in the books.
Anakin,
the first son of Han Solo and Leia Rengis Solo.
Yeah, Anakin's the third child. Anakin. They had twins.
Yes, the third. Yes, the twins were before or older.
Yep.
But Anakin is more the leader.
Yes, he is kind of the.
They're all badass.
Stronger with the Force, I think.
They're all badass. Wait till you get further along. Jason is.
Spoilers.
Jason is.
So.
Jason almost controls the whole galaxy,
yep.
In the future.
So I can't think of this lady's name. It's pretty long. It's an alien name, which I'm not even going to try to remember. Yeah, that's semi-racist, but it's probably pretty close.
There's a lot of names.
She is trying to find something called the Eye of Palpatine, which sounds suspiciously like the New Order Death's planet.
You mean the hand of Palpatine?
No, in the book it says the eye.
I think it's the hand.
No, it's the eye.
The hand of Palpatine.
I just finished it the other day.
All right. It's been a while.
I'm going with the Padawan.
This was 4 or 5 months ago that I read that.
Yeah. So they found her. They got her back into the fold.
Wasn't it the hand of Thrawn? Oh, no, that was after this book. No.
I think it was the hand of Thrawn.
It was the hand of Thrawn.
See,
you said the Eye of Palpatine.
This is the Eye of Palpatine.
This is why I'm the master, and this guy's the Padawan. I like sitting there going, he's wrong. I know he's, but I can't quite remember. And then it pops in my head.
I will put it in the notes who's right because I was just looking it up before I got here.
Yeah.
But anyways, they got her and they put her to the right side.
The second form.
But you know what? She dies.
You're looking stuff up, right?
She dies saving Anakin. So Anakin now has the guilt of Chewbacca and this young Jedi.
Yeah.
The other thing is that the Jedi fail. The planet is poisoned and everybody dies on it. And now the New Republic is not very thrilled with the Jedi Order, which adds more splintering to the group. And that is the end of book 3. It's amazing. What I love about the first 3 chapters is that there's always consequences. People die. I was not expecting the planet to be poisoned and death because there was this duel of the one Jedi and the leader of the alien race, and they were going to duel for the planet. And the Jedi, of course, won.
Corran Horn.
Yes. And I'm like, oh, of course he's going to win. Of course he's going to save the planet. But no, they were tricked. They shattered, they shot out this coral with spores, and they killed the entire planet.
The Vithor, yes.
Yes. And so now no one's happy with the Jedi. But what I did find really cool with it is that during this battle, it was the New Republic, the remnants of the Empire, which I thought was pretty cool. It was the Grand Admiral somebody.
Pelion.
And a section of the
his name is Grand Admiral Pelion.
Which sounds familiar.
Do you remember who his teacher was?
Thrawn.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
See, I got it right, Mom. So you have like the Thrawn's race, the Empire, and the New Republic all working together to fight this enemy. And they still lost.
How racist are you? You don't even know the race.
I can't. Thrawn. I hardly remember my wife's name. Something like Vanya.
The Chiss Empire, remember. Which becomes really relevant in the Dark Nest 1 and the Dark Nest 2.
Oh, don't spoil it. Woo! Don't spoil it.
This is after the New Jedi Order. So, I like these books are great. You know, there's all kinds of action. You got this horrible race from outside our universe coming here.
Yeah,
and they are brutal. They live on pain and death. Those things are your rewards in life.
Yes,
they are horrible. They will kill and destroy everything and enslave everything. They don't want to make peace. They just want to kill, maim, destroy, and subjugate.
They're growing an army.
Yeah, and the only reason they're subjugating people is to use them as slaves, and they put coral implants in them. So they're nasty, and they do not show up in the Force either.
Yeah, they are beyond the Force.
But here's the big thing that is very interesting. You can take it into the politics of today or any politics is the New Republic is filled with bureaucrats and politicians, and you always find this. You find this in Star Wars, in the TV shows. You find there's always bureaucrats and politicians that are farting everything up.
Impressive.
I'm catching myself.
Impressive, Master Jedi Wilson.
Thank you. So there's always the government screwing thing up, kind of like in the society we live in today. We have people that are self-serving. They want power. They don't care about anything else. They're fleecing the government and the situation for money. These are just bad people.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds very familiar. And so these people are threatened by the Jedi that are trying to do good and trying to do good by the galaxy, because these Jedi have a ton of power that they don't understand, that they can't grasp. And so they always are suspicious of them and always think they try to assign ulterior motives. So if something goes wrong, like the planet, the Jedi couldn't predict that. They did the best they could. And then, well, these guys are super powerful. They have way more ships. They have way more warriors. And then you haven't got to the point where people start coming together. Everything's splintered. This group is fighting over here. This group's fighting over here. The Jedi, like the New Republic does not want to listen to what the Jedi are telling them half the time. And they're trying to restrict, but they can't really restrict because the Jedi can kind of do what they want to do. And so there's this real splintering of everything. If everybody would just come together to save the galaxy, but then people start going over to the Yugosong Vong. They have what's called the Peace Brigade, and they go over and start trying. They're just people, citizens of the New Republic or the galaxy. And these outside invaders are killing everybody, but they're going to side with them because they think that's going to somehow get them where they don't get killed.
What are they, French?
Get struck. That's pretty much it. If we have any French listeners, we're talking about the old school French. You new French are hardcore, tough sons of bitches.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with you.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
You're hardcore. You are tough. So there's just all this stuff that's going on in every book. It's like this. Some of the books are only 3.5 hours long.
Yeah.
And some of them are 5 or 6.
And they're usually action packed with like major stuff going on.
You're on the edge of your seat.
When
like
the planet died, I was like, wait, what?
Characters are dying left and right.
Yeah. Can't get comfortable.
The Yuzong Vaughn are
they're formidable.
I'm trying not to go ahead and ruin some of the stuff for Brad, because Brad has 16 more books to go. Why it's taking them so long, I don't know. Could be his autistic
I was making
kid.
this wonderful Jedi cloak.
I would just like to shout out my grandma.
Yeah, why
About
can't your
25
grandma
years ago, she made me
cut
this
me
cloak.
one? Look at that.
Fill the material.
Oh no,
Brad.
it's
no. Fill the material.
I did.
Give it a good fill. Give it a good fill. And Phil,
And he's got the inside even got the dual.
well, I got a Jedi outfit on. It's not as
it's
not made by my grandma, but
it's
this
not
cloak was made. Somebody at a party offered me $400 for this cloak because it was a legit. I mean, I'm sure you could wear this in a movie set.
Yeah.
I mean, it is badass, and
This
it's
is
pretty hot too. So
a triple X large because any other size would not get here in time.
I can almost see Jack or Brad's white skin through it. It's so thin.
Yes.
So
much like my.
But these books are amazing. Definitely read these books, The New Jedi Order. It's basically what happens after the Heir to the Empire, and then there's a Hand of Thrawn 2-book series, I believe. And then you go into the New Jedi Order, and so good. In the last year, because we really started this about a year ago, and then we didn't start even reading books doing the Heir to the Empire to the summertime. So I mean, I'm like probably 26, 27 books in since we started doing that last summer. And a lot of these books are ones I've already read, and now I'm into getting into ones I didn't read. I never read the Dark Nest ones, so I stopped. And this is kind of where I stopped after the Yugosong Vong Wars, where I stopped. So now I'm like moving on into stuff where I knew about one of the powerful Jedis becoming Darth Kaitis. But I knew about it because I read the final book series before Disney was sold to, or before Lucasfilms was sold to Disney. That was still considered Legends, and it was basically the end of that era. And so there was an 8-book series then called The Aftermath of the
back
Jedi.
to George.
And that series was amazing and great too.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet you if they said, like if George said, I'll give you $2 billion for just the creative stuff. You can still do the Disneyland stuff.
Give me back the
license. You guys can have the license to all the Disneyland parks and the Disney World type stuff, but you let me be in charge of creative with Dave Filoni. I bet you'd give a couple billion for that. He's like worth ridiculous amount.
Filoni.
Every freaking podcast.
Still true.
So anyway, that I kind of know what's coming up, and it's really exciting. I'm really into it. Like I've listened. I think I downloaded that book 4 days ago, and I have an hour left of a 6-hour book. So, and then some of these books are long though. Some of them are 13 to 16 hours, but these ones are shorter. This New Jedi Order, so you can really rip through a lot of books.
Yep.
So I highly recommend them. And when Brad gets done with book 4, he'll start his review, and then I'll chime in because then I'll remember what happened.
Yeah,
because I'm a little ways ahead of him. Hopefully he catches
little ways. Now, what else is on your list?
I'm 40 hours, 50 hours ahead of you.
Just that.
All right. So I thought something fun would be lightsaber forms. So combat forms of the lightsaber. So if you've got a lightsaber like a Jedi has,
make sure you grab it by the side that's burning bright.
If it is burning bright, you do.
Yeah. So, look at that.
Whoa! That's what you get for
You should have.
That's what you get for being a crappy Padawan. So, I thought it would be fun because you see them battle, and you see, if you really pay attention, it's something I did when I went back and rewatched the movies.
Yeah.
Because they talk about how Count Dooku does this style, Anakin is more this style, and then Obi-Wan's this style. And the reason why Anakin has such a hard time with Obi-Wan is because Obi-Wan has a style that's counter to him and is much more patient and not less aggressive. And there's these different forms of how to do lightsaber battle. So I know all the names, but I don't always remember what form. So I wrote down just general, like what this is. I'm going to start off by reading a quote by Anakin Skywalker about lightsaber battle.
Is this Annie the son? Or
this is Annie,
Darth
the chosen
Vader.
one.
Okay.
Darth Vader.
Just making sure.
Right there. Keeping your saber moving is key to deflecting the fire of multiple adversaries. Fluid motion, one into the next, and so on. I've made some adjustments to the classic form 4. Techniques that I think you'll find work well against droids and other ranged attackers.
Sounds like my lovemaking.
Anakin Skywalker. So form 4, So we'll get to that in a
That's
minute.
how I have sex. I always go.
So I wanted to read that just because they acknowledge, if you read the books and watch the TV shows, the Clone Wars and stuff, they'll talk about the different forms. So, and form 1 is Shi-Cho. Almost all these are like more Asian words.
Yes.
And
so he's not being racist. He's actually saying
I love
real
Asian people.
Asian words.
I love all people, but
except for me.
I just like good and bad people, not people that show up late.
But I'm dressed like this.
I thought you were going to come in looking like me, and then you came in with, I got the cloak.
Look,
I got the cloak.
I ordered this cloak, Friday?
Yeah.
Like, this came in last second.
I told him like a year ago, I go, well, I have a full-on cloak.
You know my memory.
And he goes, oh, yeah, so do I.
My memory.
I go, do you have a lightsaber? And he goes, yeah.
No.
And then, like, I asked him, my friend, no, I don't have any of those things. I'm like, oh, come on, dude. I go, this is the first time I've wore this in I don't know how many years.
Liar.
Let's see, my kids were trick-or-treating when they were, like, pretty young, like 9 or 10
I
years
know
old.
You wear this every other day.
Like 12, 13 years ago since
I've seen
I wore
you
this.
wear this in the massage
So I wore the cloak. I had another Jedi outfit that I wore that had, actually, it was an old shirt that I had that had the flap.
Yeah.
That was gray, had the button, and you know Luke Skywalker had that shirt.
You know what you should have really put on there? The little Star Trek emblem, just to throw everyone into a tizzy.
Horrible. I'm too respectful of George Lucas and the vision. All right, so Shi-Cho, it's the oldest form. So it's basically what the original Jedi, Dawn of the Jedi, when that show comes out, this will be the oldest form. And so you think of like sword battle, like fencing. I don't know. You ever do a fencing class?
Always.
Did you ever do it?
No.
Oh, what do you mean? I did like 5 fencing classes.
I'm not surprised.
It was like a package of 5 back when I was in my 25, 26. I liked it. It was fun, but the 5 were cheap. And then after that, it went up. And so I was like, and I didn't have money in my mid-20s to be spending on
Were you making
sabers?
The lightsaber sounds in your head as you're...
There was an aspect when we were doing it, practicing stuff. And I picked it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'm a decent athlete, so I picked it up pretty quick. I'm not a great athlete. I'm a decent athlete. I can pick stuff up pretty quick. I may not be the greatest at it, but at least I can hold my own, And I picked it up pretty quick. I really enjoyed it, and I would have kept doing it, except I wasn't going to be able. I couldn't spend the amount of money to keep doing it. So think about fencing. And then they're practicing, like if you see the new Acolyte trailer, the one thing I liked is they were going over their forms. Mm-hmm. They were doing their blocks, their cuts, and they were practicing forms. And that's what you do in martial arts. And so the Jedi, so they call them forms because they are a form. They practice these motions over and over again until they're ingrained in them for years. And a lot of them end up falling in love with a certain type that fits their force use and fits who they are as a Jedi. And unless they were banned by the Jedi Order, because some of them lead you to the dark side.
I think I'm a form 6 type of guy.
Yeah. So in general, Shi-Cho is the oldest form. It is basically they take the stuff that would be maiming and killing shots and try to disarm their opponents.
Yeah.
So they adjust it to those maiming and killing, and they prefer not to as Jedi to kill. And if the darker ones would be trying to kill and maim. So the oldest form, good against multiple opponents. So if you have quite a few opponents coming against you, and that would be opponents mostly not with lightsabers, but if you did have, like back when they had the Sith and the Jedi were fighting in wars against each other, when there were so many of each side, then you probably don't know how that ended, huh?
No, don't spoil it.
I do. But anyway, that's how we got the rule of 2 by Darth Bane. But in general, it's really good against multiple opponents. You can fight off, deflect bolts. If you have to go against 2, sword wielders or lightsaber wielders, that's what you want to do is use Shi-Cho or use one of the other defensive techniques. So it's what they're taught basically as Padawans and stuff. It's the most first thing that's taught is basically Shi-Cho. Then you have Makeshai.
Ooh.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. Makashi, Makeshai.
I think those are my favorite noodles.
It's elegant. It's quick. It's precise. It's good for facing one opponent. You want to know who was one of the best at it?
Vader.
No.
Yoda.
Think of elegant and good head-to-head with somebody with a lightsaber.
Samuel Jackson.
Older.
Count Dooku?
Yes. Count Dooku.
See?
Darth Tyrannus.
I like Dooku better.
So, very good one-on-one combat. Form 3. Can't pronounce this one very good. Soresu.
Sorsu.
Soresu. 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 Mainly a defensive form.
Ooh.
So it's not something that's designed for attacks. Basically, it's designed to wear down your opponent. So you're very defensive. Who would you think might use this a lot? Main character.
Who's going to be on the defensive?
Who's very defensive. He's not like running. He's not like attacking crazy, and he's very under control.
Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Luke is always under control. He's not attacking.
All right. Who taught Luke? Not Yoda. Who was his original teacher?
Obi-Wan?
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi. So you basically are constantly defending it, waiting for someone to make a mistake.
Okay.
So those are real aggressive opponents like Anakin Skywalker.
That's how I date. I'm on the defensive and I wait until they wear down and make a mistake.
Yeah.
And I slide right in.
There you go. And so you basically, and anyone who's wrestled or been in a fight, I would literally like to go, all right, all I got to do is wear this guy out the first round. And then in the second round, I'll probably pin him or, they'll just like not have any juice left.
That was how we always beat my dad wrestling. If you could withstand his 13 minutes of fury, you knew that he would
go 13 minutes of fury, then you're
well, that's just wrestling.
Most guys have about 30 seconds of fury.
I do a good 4.5 minutes of fury.
In a few of when I was younger, and a few of the
Form 7,
the street fight type things, I'm like, this guy's gonna throw about 4 punches and start breathing heavy.
Yeah, well, if I stand that fast, I'm gonna breathe heavy.
They start swinging, you just like avoid, and then like all of a sudden they start breathing heavy, and then you can just do whatever you want.
That was my dad. He would, when my dad would start laughing, you knew he was beat. He was just out of breath.
Yep. All right, so like I said, mainly defensive, and you're just wearing down your opponent, and you're looking to counterpunch whenever they wear out and make a mistake. They overextend themselves, and this is how Obi-Wan can beat Anakin, who is so much better of a dueler and better in the fort. And then also, Obi-Wan beat a lot of people that he wasn't. So Grievous, Obi-Wan wasn't trying to take them out; he was waiting for them to make a mistake, and he was basically fending off stuff. Also very good for defending multiple bolter blasts, deflecting bolt blasts.
That he's shown that.
Yep, very good at that. All right, Form 4, Ataru. Acrobatic and aggressive form.
Yoda.
Focuses on using the Force to enhance movements in all areas of combat.
I saw him flipping around. See there?
Yep, Yoda used Form 4. And as we discussed earlier,
he had to. He was 2 feet tall.
Yeah, so when you see like Attack of the Clones,
and he was flipping all over.
When he goes against Dooku, and he flips all over, and then when he fights against Sidious, and you see him jumping all over. He's focusing all of his Force energy into combat maneuvers and jumping around and being acrobatic. So that is what Yoda used, and also Anakin in that quote said he adjusted Form 4 to fit his style a little bit more. So he had kind of a combo style. So it was always known that Anakin did not just use one style. He liked to use multiple styles, but he adjusted 4 to fit his purposes.
Now,
so he did do acrobatics.
I got a
and also, who did Anakin train?
Well, first,
who did Anakin train?
Anakin trained Ahsoka.
All right. Is she fairly acrobatic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Anakin, when he turned Darth Vader, all right, his costume limited how high he could raise his arms. What form did he take to compensate?
We'll get into that.
Okay, just checking.
All right, Form 5. There's 2 variants of Form 5.
Okay.
So there's Shin, and then there's Jimso Shin. So the two variants, Shin is a physically demanding with quick transitions between defense and offense. So you're defensive and then you're attacking.
Yeah.
Defensive and attacking.
I like that way.
So you use a lot of energy, you use a lot of force energy.
That's how I win a lot of verbal arguments. Is I defense, and then I go for the hurtful comment snark.
Yes. And then Jim So is a variant, is for more saber to saber combat.
Okay.
And good for blaster defection. So basically they're very similar, but one of them you adjust and you are better for one-on-one combat with another lightsaber.
I like defense, attack.
Shin also is kind of known for, like, when you see Ahsoka, she uses it some. It's the reverse grip. When she like has her.
Oh yeah.
So she does a variant, and if you watch Anakin, sometimes he does the reverse grip too.
What's this? Anakin's famous behind the back twirl.
Yeah. So those get into the more acrobatic and also the Shin or the reverse grip.
I see it. I can see that.
All right. So Form 6.
All right. Now we're getting good.
All right. Niman.
Niman.
Niman. The most common used by the Jedi Order. Why do you think that is?
Has to be defensive. Has to protect. I don't know.
So they take all the forms.
Yeah.
And they try to draw from all of them and try to balance them out. And they don't try to extend, like, if something's very good for attacking, they mute the attacking part of it and use some of the form in it, but also mute it down to be more of you also got to be defensive. So they take all the forms and mute them into like one kind of balance. So what are Jedi supposed to be? Balanced, right?
So is it the MMA version of?
No, because MMA fighters might use different forms to attack. So it's just basically trying to not be overly aggressive, but not trying to be too defensive either. So you want to have a balance of attack and defense. So Niman is the most common used by Jedi.
Makes sense.
So
balance.
Absolutely. Form 7. This one I really Yugo. Juyo. Yugo.
We like to say in the Latin country, Hugo.
Yeah. So now we're into a very aggressive attacking style.
That's my
so a lot of rapid, fast movements, aggressive, just nonstop. When you see Anakin, boom, boom, just angry, and he's drawn on the anger of it.
Yeah.
That, and then Sith, obviously.
I call that my wife's form.
There you go.
7. When we have fights, she just lays into me haymaker after haymaker.
Throwing blows.
Just throwing blows.
And like, when is this flurry going to stop?
Yes, I just automatically on the defensive and wetting myself.
Yeah. So that is basically what
that is the Sith. So if you were like a young Jedi and you're like, you know what, Master Skywalker, I really like this.
So it says fast, violent, frenzied attacks. The problem is the Jedi outlawed it except for rare occasions of masters and people that were approved because it can lead to the dark side.
That's what I'm saying. If your young Padawan is like, look, I'm really, really liking this 7th form, you'd be like, well, you're probably leaning towards the dark side.
All right. Variant of Yugo. Vapid. Vaapad. Vapid. Guess who created that one?
Vader.
No. Think of one of the greatest swordsmen of all time.
Zorro.
He says fuck a lot.
Oh. That doesn't narrow.
Not as a Jedi master, but he says the F word a lot in other stuff.
I don't know.
He has a bald head like us.
That's not limiting it down. Just tell me.
He doesn't have your color of skin.
Oh, Mace Windu.
Mace Windu created Vapid. And basically, it's exactly the same as Yugo. Do
you have to have a big purple lightsaber?
You can't let yourself be drawn. You can't let anger and dark emotions take over.
Okay.
So you're able to hold those off, but also use the rapid, fast attacks.
Yeah.
and not draw and not give in to the anger and the dark emotions. So you draw on that, but you don't turn yourself over to it.
Oh, you gotta tiptoe that line.
You do. You
A
know,
razor's edge.
So very few people were. The Jedi Order did not allow hardly anybody to use this form, but Mace Windu could, and there were some others too.
Bad.
All right, and then there's one other which really isn't necessary. It is a form, I guess.
Yeah.
But it just combines, like you would use one of the other forms with it, but it's Jarkai.
Is that just grabbing the blaster?
No, it's Jarkia, and it's basically using two blades.
Okay.
So you can use two individual blades, or you can use the Darth Maul baton blade, two blades coming out of each side. And then your form would be similar. There is. I remember reading a book where one of the Jedi was like, wasn't used. I think it was in the High Republic books. Wasn't used to going against somebody who was using. No. You know what? It was Darth Bane. It was the Darth Bane book, because he got caught off guard because he never fought anybody using two blades at their basically the Sith Academy. And so it really threw him off the first time. But then he studied and learned how to beat it, and then he messed the dude up. See, I didn't say it again. I almost said that. I said it again. I'm getting good.
You only put one in there. Still gotta put explicit, but this is the least explicit version we've done.
Well, we didn't talk very much about Kathleen Kennedy, so I didn't cuss that much this time.
Not yet.
So anyway, those are the forms. And so when you watch the shows, if you want to, you can always find this. I always recommend going to Wikipedia.
Wookie.
So like what I always do when I do these shows is I go and I read their stuff. Because I can sit there. Usually I can rattle off all 7.
Yeah.
The names, but I can't remember like, well, what is this one? Is this one the attacking one, or is this one the defensive one? You know, I always know number 7. It's always the dark, aggressive. You know, dark side.
You.
And I always remember the first one is the form that's taught the Padawans in kind of the first. And then I always remember number 3 is what Obi-Wan uses. And then I always remember number 4 is, but sometimes I get confused, you know, when I haven't really read up on it in a while.
Well, you know
so it's great to have a resource. So go and you know, pull it up on your phone. And then when you're watching a Star Wars show or movie and there's a lot of lightsaber battles, like in the Clone Wars and, you know, in, you know, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. And there's a lot, because there's a lot of Jedi and a lot of,
what do you think Anakin did when he killed the younglings? What form would you do to kill the little younglings?
He didn't have to use any form to do it, but he would have used whatever form he's used.
I think Form 7. I think he just went to town on those little babies.
I imagine a combination of Form 7 and Form 4 would probably have been used. But yeah, I like to, like, now when I watch, because I've seen these things multiple times.
Yeah,
I like to like go, all right, let me see what style I think they're using.
It's a little 4 with the dash of picks on there.
I swear, I think he used the. He was using, because they will switch between forms, especially the masters or people like they even talk about it when they did the flashback in the Obi-Wan series and how like Obi-Wan switched up his style against Anakin. And confused Anakin. He goes, "Oh, you used a little bit of this."
Now, which one on the Ahsoka? The guy didn't. What form is when you don't even use a lightsaber? When it was just like using his hands to stop a lightsaber.
Ezra Bridger.
You know,
that's called the dark side of the Force. You know what I think? I think Ezra's been corrupted by the dark side of the Force. Okay. But besides that, that's just my theory. But I was wrong. I was wrong about my theory. I thought they were gonna bring the Yuzong Vong into this because it would be an epic.
That would have been so good.
It would have been so epic. I would have loved that. But
let's wrap it up because we got to post this baby today.
Yeah, May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with me.
Yeah, so Brad,
downloading this and my computer.
Hopefully he does a good job of it and he gets it done today. And hopefully next May the 4th, this guy has a better outfit on. I mean,
definitely. All right, you know, there's no need to flaunt the robe.
Come on. And look, and I have the under.
No need to flaunt the under.
I have the full, like if I went to Star Wars Celebration, I would be like, I'd fit right in. You would be everybody looking at you going, who is this dork? Is he mocking me?
You know,
Is
like,
this dork over here mocking me? Because I'm a dork, but this dork's a real dork.
they were selling a lot of these in white. Just saying.
This guy
could have gotten quick.
You know what he would do? He would have the Starfleet freaking insignia.
I would just to piss people off.
Then one of the other dorks will try to beat him up, and I'd probably have to rescue him.
I would wear the Starfleet uniform underneath it with the little insignia.
I'll be walking ahead, and I hear Brad going, Casey, and then I'll have to come back and save him from some dorks beating the crap out of him.
This is how I think we should sign off. May you live long and prosper.
Unbelievable. You can't do that on
May
the 4th. You didn't hear me saying anything on May the 4th.
Happy May the 4th. Live long and prosper. Oh, before, go to his website.
Please subscribe and follow. The website is rosevillesc.com. New location. Same great podcast. Same great training. We will keep doing this. And I felt a little weird being here, but I'm sure we'll get used to it. So being this close to this guy without being in an open room where I can step away if I need to.
At least I showered
the smell. Time. Yeah, I mean, the smell wasn't too bad. So I'm happy about that.
It's early.